What is up, everyone? It's your boy JSamp, and we are back here with another video. And something crazy just happened. We just hit 100,000 followers on Instagram. And in this video, I'm going to teach you tips and tricks on how you can do the same exact thing. Before we get started, comment below. Let me know what types of videos you want to see next. So the first thing, and probably the most important thing that you need to start doing, is you need to start posting consistently. Now, I'm not saying you have to post every single day, not even every other day. Right now I post every other day, but it took me a little bit to lead up to that point. If you right off the bat go into posting a ton, then you're gonna get burnt out really quick. All I'm saying when I say post consistently is to stick to a schedule. It also lets your followers know exactly when you're gonna be posting, and it lets them know what to expect from you. And that's important because there'll be a higher amount of engagement if they know exactly when something's coming and what's coming their way. See, I know that this is a fact, not because of random people saying, oh, it's all about the algorithm. It's because I used to post very consistently, way back in the day when I first started. But then I stopped posting consistently. Fun fact, at this date, I actually reached 10,000 followers because I was really consistent with my Instagram, and this was years ago. But then I kind of, fell off the face of the earth, stopped using social media a lot. Maybe was posting once every couple of weeks, sometimes went months without posting. And I started losing followers. People wanted to see content, and people aren't gonna follow accounts that don't post content. And I was losing about 20 to 30, 50 even followers a day. And at one point dropped down to about 7,000 followers. And that was over the course of years, just losing and losing and losing followers. Funny enough, every time I would post something, it would remind people that I didn't post consistently. So I would see an even larger drop in followers. But then starting about a year ago, I was like, I'm gonna hunker down. I'm gonna start posting at least once a week. So then I started posting once a week. I lost a fair amount of followers, but then I saw myself starting to gain followers. As time went on, I started posting every other day. From that, I started gaining even more and more followers. The level of new people from hashtags, from people sharing your work, goes up the more that you post. And so that's why consistency is key. When you start posting consistently, you start being at the top of the mind of your followers, and you start increasing follower engagement. Follower engagement is probably the most important thing that you can get from your followers. And that comes from likes, comments, shares, reposts, all of that. Because that all feeds into the Instagram algorithm. And when I'm talking about the Instagram algorithm, I'm talking about things like showing up at the top of your followers' feeds, sometimes getting on the explore page, and things like that. And those are all things that can help grow your audience. It's very important that you reciprocate this engagement. So that means responding to comments, responding to DMs. See, I'm at 100,000 followers and I get tons of comments, but I still respond to every single comment and I respond to every single DM. I set aside that time, because I love responding to them. And I do that because, when I was a smaller account, I would comment on other artists' work and they would respond to me. It would motivate me to keep on making, keep on working. And so I just want to give back that feeling that I felt to my followers. But it's also important to do that because that engagement increases the overall engagement level of your account, and therefore, like I said, feeds into the algorithm. The only comments that I don't respond to are the ones that are self-promoting themselves and not really regarding the post that I made, and they're most likely copy and paste type comments. And that leads me into my next point. There is a time and a place to self-promote. And this is also very important to growing your account, because when you start off small, the explore page isn't just gonna randomly pick up your stuff, right? So you need to find different ways in which you can expand your audience. Being engaged in other people's work and following people with similar styles to your own and similar number of followings to you. You see, if I were to, comment on someone with 1 million followers and be like, hey, you want to do a little shout out for shout out, they wouldn't respond to me. The same way someone with 10,000 followers probably wouldn't respond to someone with 50 followers. Psychologically, we think of things in, the standards of reciprocity. So if someone with a larger account is to shout someone out with a smaller account, there's an uneven balance there. By staying engaged with people that have similar art to you and are at a similar follower level, you'll be able to build a relationship with them through social media. And at a certain point is when you'll be like, hey, let's do a collaboration, or hey, would you mind doing a shout out for shout out? And they will most likely be very down for those things. And then you can share your audience with their audience and their audience with your audience. Now, one of the things that helped me get started, and probably the first thing that you should start doing, is use hashtags. And not just any random hashtags, because certain hashtags have an insane amount of traffic to them. So for example, if you were to just hashtag art, that has this many posts to it, and you're probably gonna get lost within that hashtag. And so if you end up using a different hashtag that is more specific to whatever piece you're doing, that usually helps drive more traffic and helps people actually notice you within that hashtag. Now, the hashtags that I use and the hashtags that I tell people to use is hashtags that correspond to different art sharing pages. Now, if you don't know, art sharing pages are pages that promote and feature random artists throughout Instagram. My advice to you is to follow those types of pages for 2 reasons. One, it will give you a ton of inspiration. You see, I follow a ton of these art sharing pages. I just need to scroll through my account if I'm ever lacking inspiration, and I'll just be graced with all of this amazing art. The second reason is that each of these art sharing pages will most likely have their own hashtag. And these are the hashtags that you should be using, because these art sharing pages will look at these hashtags. Based on that, you have the potential to get reposted by these pages. And even if you don't get reposted by these pages, a lot of the followers of those pages will scroll through those hashtags. That will drive even more traffic to your post. So 2 last things, and it has to do with what you're posting. It's important to post quality content. And when I say quality, that means the actual quality of the photograph or the video of what you're posting. I made a video, I'll have a little title card, for how to make a professional looking Instagram video, and this also applies with Instagram photos when it comes to art. And that's important because you want your feed to look professional. And when your feed gives off those vibes, then people are more likely to stay, people are more likely to scroll through and check out the rest of your feed, and in turn are more likely to follow you. When it comes to what you're posting, my best advice is to stick with what you're doing, but to constantly try new things. It's not against the law to look and see that something's trending and try it out for yourself to see if it will do better on your page. Now, I'm not saying to completely drop what your core art is, but it's important to expand and do things that have the potential to do better, or try new things even if it's risky and you don't think it will do as well as what you're already doing. Because honestly, you don't know what's going to blow up on your Instagram. For example, I made this post at the very start of the year, and it was the first post I made of 2020. And I posted it because I was away on vacation and I hadn't made anything new, and it was something that I had saved up for a while because I was thinking, you know what, this is very weird, this is very different than anything I've done, I really don't think it's going to do well. But when I posted it, it turned out to be my most liked post and my most shared post. And so you never know what's going to happen. Well, those are some of my tips for how you can grow your Instagram audience. I know that they work because I've seen them work for me, and I've also seen myself do the opposite and it work not in my benefit. Don't take my word for it. I always think that it's a good idea for you guys to go and outsource, watch some other videos. YouTube is filled with tons of videos about how to grow your audience. I'm just one person out here just trying to give you my experiences and hoping that you grow from them. And so, yeah. If you haven't already, feel free to subscribe. If you're feeling kind and want to show your support, gently tap that like button. And as always, thanks for watching.